ಹೇಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್
ಧನವಿದ್ದು ಫಲವೇನು ದಯವಿಲ್ಲದನ್ನಕ್ಕ ಹಸುವಿದ್ದು ಫಲವೇನು ಹಯವಿಲ್ಲದನ್ನಕ್ಕ ರೂಪಿದ್ದು ಫಲವೇನು ಗುಣವಿಲ್ಲದನ್ನಕ್ಕ ಅಗಲಿದ್ದು ಫಲವೇನು ಬಾಣವಿಲ್ಲದನ್ನಕ್ಕ ನಾನಿದ್ದು ಫಲವೇನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನವಿಲ್ಲದನ್ನಕ್ಕ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ. Yeah, I request Honorable Arvindana to please be seated, and I request Bob and Lizu who have come from Chinese community. Thanks for coming today. Please be seated. And I request Mr. Adil Shah. He is representing Muslim community. He is from New Zealand Muslim Association. And I also request Shushant Kadole, Jain community, is representing Jain community today. Thank you all of you for coming today. And now we are going to start the session. Today this session is called Anubhava Goshti, where we discuss about our faith, what do we feel about our faith, and this will be chaired by our Anna Arvindana. And again I would like to give some details about Arvindana, who is sitting next to you. Please. Yeah? But they don't know, Anna. They don't know. Like, he is from Bangalore, and he is doing services in Basma Samiti at Bangalore since 20 years, more than 20 years. He is done in translating the vachanas, the songs which I sang just now, like that there are thousands of songs. He has already done nearly 2,500 songs in 38 languages. Those are written by 173 Sharanas, the poets whom we call as Sharanas. So, including the Chinese. Including the Chinese. Yeah, see, that is what. You said he don't want me to explain about it, so he is explaining himself. So that's the thing, yeah, you know. Yeah. So that's why we chose him to discuss with you guys, because he has got a treasure of knowledge. So he will lead this session today, and I'll just hand over the mic to him now. Yeah. I also request Mrs. Lina Kalpurgi to Bunny madam. You should be here.
ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಲಿಲ್ಲ Good evening, everyone. I thank you very much for joining this discussion, which is called as Anubhava Goshti. Anubhava means experience. Goshti means a discussion like this. Anubhava Goshti. We are going to discuss about your experiences in different faiths. I don't even like to call them as communities, because my Guru doesn't divide between the caste, the creed, the gender, the community, nothing. He believes that community remains the one, that is the divine community. We have all come from one real source, and that is the divinity which we believe in our philosophy. I'll be thankful if all of you could put your views. For example, one thing I would like to tell you here is, when I was getting the translation done in Persian and Arabic, the friends who had come, they were all from Islamic culture. All 12 professors had come. I questioned them, how come you agree to translate this philosophy about which you are not aware? Finally they said, we have gone through the literature, and finally the word used by Zaman Azulda, one of the senior most professors of the Kashmir University, He said, Vachana is nothing but insaniyat ka khazana. I hope you will be able to understand that insaniyat ka khazana. It is the treasure of humanity, and this philosophy talks only about the treasure of humanity, and question of different communities doesn't arise here, because the soul remaining the same in all of you. We are all brothers and the children of Allah bolte hain and Shiv bolte hain. They may say something else, but nevertheless we are the children of the God. And I think you can start the discussion.
Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's my pleasure to take part in this meeting. I come from China. I'm the chairman of the Central Auckland Chinese Association. Today, I first know the Basama Committee of the Asia Pacific Committee. The gentleman, the chairman, told me the philosophy is everyone is equal, no matter you are man, lady, and children, or no matter you come from the Asia, from the all parts of the world, it's equal. I agree with this philosophy. Okay, for Chinese, we have our culture. It's for the family. We know non-Chinese to increase every family have the more children. Before we just one children policy, one family, one child only. But also the parents of the Chinese family take care more to their child. They save a lot of the money for their son or daughter. You do nothing in the home. You just study in the school. You get to the high school. This is your the target. You do nothing. After school, the parents pay a lot of the money, ask their son or daughter to learn how to play the piano, how to play the violin, how to play the tennis, and so on. So they contribute a lot not only for their son or daughter. After their son or daughter have children, the mother will do help for their grandson, grandmother, do a lot of things. This is Chinese culture for children. So, still, I came to New Zealand 30 years ago. Why you come to New Zealand? I think I have some reason. First reason, in that time, many people tell me New Zealand is very kindness. Also, New Zealand, the weather is good, not too hot, not too cold. The most important reason I go to New Zealand can get more money than China in that time. So I went to the New Zealand 30 years ago. Now I retired. I is chairperson of Central Auckland Chinese Association. Our association mostly is senior, it's older immigration. We have different activities in our association. For example, we have traditional Chinese Taiji mold page, and we have the fitness, we have the Chinese dancing. Still, we sit the English class because English is not our mother language. It's very hard for us to learn to watch the TV, to talk to our lady, because we have the limited English. Not like the India. I see a lot of the Indian gentlemen and ladies, they can listen clearly, know, understand what's the meaning, and also can express their idea. But for our Chinese, it's very hard to learn English, especially for the senior older person. So we sit in the English class. We still like the many Indian person come to my association to teach our member to learn English. I remember the 10 years ago, maybe, I met the lady, now it's not here. She came to my association, teach us the Indian dance. Dance, yeah, it's a lady, I forget her first name. He teach our the Indian dance from very beginning. So I think India is our China's neighbor. We are both is the biggest immigration country in New Zealand. The population, India and China, similar now. Maybe it's 1.4 billion population. It's similar. Yeah, it's similar. I think an Indian person is very smart because the Indian young person, they dealing with IT. Very smart person can do a lot of the computer program, but an Indian young person can't do this now. Also, Indian's lady is very beautiful lady. Why? Because I see many University of Miss World is Indian lady. Okay? So our Chinese ideas, Indian lady is a beautiful lady in the world. So I came to New Zealand many years, you say 33 years, but I'm sorry, I'm not used to Eastern, Western food. I still like Chinese food. I don't know, because when I child, my parents asked me eat some rice, not bread, and I not go to my dog. He liked KFC, liked McDonald's, the food, but I still Chinese rice. This is my culture. So still, for the doctor, I still like the Chinese doctor, traditional Chinese doctor. There, no, I will give them some pain and the sore. I don't eat medicine. The Chinese doctor say, I can acupuncture to you. To touch this one, it's mainly the bigger one. To touch this one, then my pain and the sore disappear. So it's this is the Chinese culture. I like Chinese culture. Of course, some disease I still eat Western leadership. So today I'm very happy. Gave me the chairperson and the lady give me the chance to talk to them. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Lily. Surname is Xu. So I'm a community health promoter, working at TANI, the Asian network. Today I came here. I came from China, and already been in New Zealand 20 years. So today I came here just to support our chairperson. He already introduced a lot of Chinese culture and some Chinese some habits there. So I just supported Mr. Ho. Yes. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Adil Pasha. My name is Adil Pasha. I'm a member of New Zealand Muslim Association. I work with Foul River Catchment Trust, Waitakere Ethnic Board. Community service is something that I truly believe in, giving back to the community and paying it forward. I'm here to talk about Islam today. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. I'll just translate what I read in Arabic, in English. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. All praises for Allah, Lord of all worlds, Master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those who are displeased with or those who are astray. Now, this is one of the core verses in the Holy Quran. I just recited this. It's called Surah Fatiha, which is the first chapter of the Holy Quran that we recite over several times in a day in our prayers, and it is called the mother of all chapters in the Holy Quran. I would like to greet you all with Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, which means peace be upon you all. It gives me immense joy and pleasure to be here on this occasion. And I thank all the committee members and the volunteers who have enabled this wonderful gathering of Basava Jayanti celebrations. Islam is an Arabic word which means submission and obedience. Submission is acceptance of Allah's command. Obedience means putting Allah's command into practice. Submission and obedience to Allah bring peace, which is why Islam means peace. The word Islam means peace. Person who accepts the Islamic way of life and acts upon it is a Muslim. A thorough idea of unity is established in Islam, and the Almighty in the Quran reminds people of the origin of humankind. As Mr. Arvind had mentioned, the unity of humanity's origin is the foundation of the equal opportunity regardless of language and culture. Al-Quran chapter 4 verse 1 says, O mankind, be dutiful to your Lord who created you from Adam and Eve. All people, no matter what religion or culture they follow, come from Adam and Eve. Because of this, nobody has the entitlement to demand superiority over anyone. This was further reinforced during Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's last sermon, in which he mentioned all mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has any superiority over a white, except by piety and good actions. Islam has 5 basic principles which Muslims must do. They are the 5 pillars of Islam. The 5 pillars are the Shahada, which is the declaration of faith. It's Salah, 5 compulsory daily prayers. Zakah, which is the welfare contribution. A Hajj, pilgrimage to Makkah. And Saum, fasting during Ramadan, which is what we are going through right now. Expanding on Shahada, which is the first point I mentioned, is the first pillar. It is said that as follows: La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There are two aspects to the statement. One is a negative and the other one is a positive. La ilaha, there is no God, ilaha, but Allah. Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad is the last and final messenger. The other 4 pillars are the main duties in Islam called ibadah, i.e. worship. Ibadah includes any activity which is done to gain Allah's pleasure and favor. The Salah, Zakah, Saum and Hajj, the 4 pillars, apart from Shahada, the other are the forms of worship that we do. It's Ramadan now, therefore I thought it would be appropriate to talk about that pillar of fasting. Fasting, the 4th pillar of Islam, is another act of worship. All adults must fast from dawn to sunset every day of Ramadan, which is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar. This means abstaining from eating, drinking, and conjugal relations during the 5 hours of fasting. Travelers and the sick can defer fasting during Ramadan and make up for it later. Pregnant, suckling, and menstruating women are exempted. Fasting develops self-control and helps us to overcome selfishness, greed, laziness, other faults, which we feel the pangs of hunger. We begin to appreciate what it must be like for the poor and less fortunate. It teaches us to go beyond the realm of self-control. Increased prayers are performed and charities given to the poor and organizations that help the poor, and it aims and it helps to be more generous and it promotes to be more generous. Ramadan is the month when Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Holy Quran is recited widely by Muslims during this month. The significance of charity is explained by the Almighty in the Quran through a parable in chapter 2, verse 261. Those who spend their wealth in the cause of Allah is that of a grain that sprouts into 7 years, like a corn tree, like plantation, each bearing 100 grains, and Allah multiplies the reward even more to whoever He wills. For Allah is all bountiful and all-knowing. Therefore, charity is embedded as one of the pillars in Islam for a Muslim. Fasting is a time of self-reflection, compassion, empathy, mercy, and patience. One remarkable incident in Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's life encapsulates the above values and character. A neighbor of the Prophet tried to irritate him by throwing garbage in his path every day. One day, when he walked out of his home, there was no garbage. This made the Prophet inquire about the old woman, knowing she was sick. The Prophet went to visit her and offered assistance that she might need. The old woman was extremely humbled and at the same time ashamed of her actions in light of the concern that the Prophet showed her. Now, these are the teachings. One thing Mr. Arvind had mentioned, it very much comes to the fore, the fact that we are all from the same pair. We all come from the same family. We might be following different paths, but the source is one eventually. And I've just read Basava Anna's teaching as well. It's amazing. It's quite universal in the way it touches a lot of those points which I had gone through. Being human, showing humbleness, being showing humility and being accepting all other differences as well, but coming together for a common purpose. And that's something that really touched me in his teachings. And again, I thank you for the opportunity and wish your organization all the very best. And may Basavanna's teachings to treat all humans equal, irrespective of their caste, religion, and creed, live long. Thank you.
Now I request Sushan Padole to speak.
ಸಿದ್ದೇಭ್ಯ ಓಂ ನಮ ಸಿದ್ದೇಭ್ಯ ಓಂ ನಮ ಸಿದ್ದೇಭ್ಯ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಜೈ ಜಿನೇಂದ್ರ, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಶರಣು, ಕಿಯವರ. All the dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all the organizers, Karburi uncle, to inviting me to this function and giving the opportunity to participate in this event. I would like to talk about one of the oldest faith and philosophy of our Indian culture, which is Jainism. So, who is Jaina, or when this is started? So, Jaina means one who follows the principles of Jina. So, who is Jina? Jina is the one, a soul or a living being who has conquered his own inner passions. So, the Jainism principles are eternal, and hence there is no founder. There is a myth that Mahavir started the Jainism, but he was the last teacher or the preacher of this era. There were 23 supreme teachers existed before him, and those teachers are the path showers, or the path showers to conquer our inner passions. So, what is Jaina philosophy? So, Jain, they believe in like nature, and this whole universe is eternal. There is no start or there is no end to this universe, and there is no creator or operator or a destroyer. Everything is happening by its own, like it's natural process. And every living being, which is a soul, like you, like every living being, not just humans, animals or the trees, wherever you see a living being or a soul or a power which is part of this this universe, is they are transforming from one form to another, and they can't be destroyed. It's like a energy which is it can just transfer but can't be destroyed. Same way, the souls, the living beings which are existing here, they are just transforming from one form to another form, and they were eternal. They existed in the past, and they will exist in the future, but just in a different form. Every living being has the capacity to conquer its inner passions. So every living being, everybody is same, like what the sir was telling. Every soul, I could say, has that power to conquer their own inner passions and become an omniscience. So each self is eternal, and such as it has no beginning or nor end. At the same time, each self is constantly experiencing a change because it is essentially active, and this is the core teaching of Jainism. The original quality of soul. So the soul, the living being, or one who thinks our own thing, is the original qualities are eternal happiness, non-abstract clear knowledge, compassion, endless power, and etc. Like whatever the good qualities of soul, you can see like somebody has a compassion towards anybody else. The person says, oh, he is a very good soul. So that's the original quality of a soul. So Jaina teachers have shown us the path to get those qualities. So when I say there is no God concept, why Jains have temples and statues? So Jains worship the qualities. So qualities of living beings or souls who have attained that state of eternal happiness and knowledge. The only reason to worship them is to become like them. So we worship the people, living beings who has attained that state. So tomorrow you can attain that state. Any living being, like even animals can attain that state. So we worship those qualities to attain that state. That's a pure conciseness where you have the control over yourself. You are all the inner passions, like in Hindi we call raga, dvesha, krodha, mada, maya, lobh, whatever we call. Those all will be you have the control over them, and you gone inside. And so that capacity is there for every living being. That's what the teachers have told